All right, you good? Yep, we got you recording, so you should be good.
Okay,
So you wanna try to sign in real quick?
that's what I've been waiting for, since I was upstairs, he's been doing this, so I don't know.
out and try it one more time.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure, cause it's been, but it's been doing that since I was upstairs.
Pilot score is fresh.
Tell the kids I said hi, Tara.
I will, I will. I'm not even sure the little ones would remember you, wouldn't they?
Oh, I know, I've been gone a while.
I know.
Is it still doing that?
Nope, it's working.
Oh, good, good, good.
Yeah, so it's been figuring.
Thank you, guys, and girls.
Well, good to go.
Have a great day, guys.
Hey,
All right, you too.
Yeah, that's just nice. I have to.
I
I hear I love.
Steve, what are you doing here?
I'm learning everything I can about drainage.
Thank you. Let me show you some pictures.
Learning everything I can about drainage.
Henry County, 2022. What's going on over there is that the Blackford County Highway Department's trying to get the solar company to issue enough money to repair the roads, and they're resisting to meet Blackford's requirements. So Henry and Blackford are working together, and Henry's showing them what's going on over there. That's the Henry County Solar Development.
Do you know this one?
I do not, but I can get that for you.
If you get that.
Sure. Sure.
I like these little day trips with my wife and stuff. Find a
Yes.
little restaurant to eat over at there and stuff.
And I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know whether I'll get the opportunity to visit. I'm here for a different.
Because that's Newcastle area, right, Henry
Yeah.
County,
Yes.
right? So MoDOT, how far is MoDOT away from you?
Is
It's
Wilmot
not too
Henry
far.
County, or is that the other one?
It may be Randall.
I think it's Randolph, yeah.
Because I went to the MoDOT one and took a look.
You did?
I didn't see anything like this, nothing. But I did see, like I say, about a third of the foliage
Screening?
already dead. And it was my thinking.
How you doing?
Hi,
Yeah.
Richard.
Randy, how you doing?
I'm good.
Come on.
Get some
Did it rain last night?
We got about a half inch.
Living right.
Scott Ray said he didn't get any of them here.
I got less than a 10.
Good.
Here you
Hey,
go.
Miss Mary.
I don't know which chair you want, but
Oh, I can sit forward.
I'll sit up here and become cool.
Oh,
There's nobody else can sit, you might as well.
sure. I
Positive.
don't want them to come in and spoil everybody's. Good to see you.
One voice.
Oh, Gordon.
Your brother's right there.
I got you, I got you. Good, good, good.
Are you Paul? I'm that Harvard Randy Atkins in that guy. I got your voice.
The guy with
Oh, is that Jerome?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I've heard the name, but never met him.
Pat, I will be good, I promise.
You know everybody else.
Sure,
don't you?
I promise.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Kenny
Got
Cage,
you be
Yep,
principal
yep.
here.
Richard Cox,
Okay, very good.
High school
Richard.
principal.
Richard,
The other Pat left?
you know Pat
I
Pinkerton.
do.
I'm sorry.
Well, that's.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, he was.
I do.
Hey, Richard, have you met Steve?
Yeah, I think I've met Steve before.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Steve.
Okay,
Richard, good seeing you.
so I think you know everybody else.
Right.
And you might know Mark, our chairman.
I think I might.
Is he coming?
Yes,
I haven't heard that he's not, so.
Justin. touch
You might
base.
have to run this drainage board meeting.
Oh, no.
Are you Mark?
Doing well, how about
Okay, Jim,
Good.
I don't know what all.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark.
Sit next to you, Steve.
Absolutely. Here, Dave.
I'm hungry, we're gonna get it.
Your name, Craig.
Yeah. Too many disgruntled yet. Yeah.
Days early.
So we got it in, we just write it off.
Really? Very good.
Okay.
I promise.
you want me to put it over here and if it comes up, I'll give it to you?
Can't be escorted out, right?
Maybe, but not it's like that.
No, I gotta go far away.
Yeah,
Just park here.
Raven, you know
There's
what's
five.
We talked on the phone.
I got you.
My name.
Oh, I relate.
Trying to help move water
I gotta
down
keep
to
them all in
Yes.
line,
And she
especially
does,
the chairman.
she does a pretty good job too.
I know she does.
Not pretty good, she does a good job.
I try.
At the drainage board?
Window says.
No, not today, but, I mean, when we get into one of the three seats,
Well, I'm
be the one
I'm
on this side.
a commissioner.
Or is it?
So-
We're gonna work on the west side.
When Mark's no longer sitting here, who's gonna?
We need to work on this side, there's no room.
We all kind of got different things that we do, like I said.
That's his street. Okay, so you know what we're talking about.
There's a lot of different.
You give it back.
We all
All right, the North Central Indiana Solid Waste District. Clear to use Logan County. So
It's an area where you need a dip or something.
Yeah.
We've talked about that.
Yeah.
I thought they were not supposed to this much.
That's all with the Brian a lot.
Yeah.
Because of, you know, we still have our figure
I still have a problem.
Yeah.
For some reason,
Yes. Yeah.
is that where that pool is?
Yeah. Just leave it to that, then we'll-
Is that Joe?
Kinda like a divorce.
Haven't dug it yet. I just gotta take quotes.
We're still dealing with that little thing, I'm telling off it's the city.
That's not the part we were gonna vacate.
No, this isn't the part we're gonna vacate, this is the county drain that goes to Kim Road.
Oh, okay.
All right.
This isn't that low little line.
Hey, Mark, if anybody gets up and speaks, can you get their name?
Yes. All right, we are going to call the Grant County Drainage Board to order August 9. Note all 5 members are present. We do have quorum, and our first item on the agenda would be past minutes. Does anybody have those in front of them?
Yeah, here.
Move your approved minutes as presented.
Motion, Mr. Cox.
Second.
Second, Mr. Cates. Any questions, comments, corrections, editorial comments, slight remarks? All right. Hearing none. Did we have anybody absent, or was it a full slate? Full slate, all right. All those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. We will move on. Jim, if you will walk us through claims, please.
The first one, Grant County Treasurer, $2,662.06. This is a loan from the General Drain Improvement Fund to maintenance. Grant County Treasurer, $13.70. Repayment from maintenance to General Drain Improvement Fund. Right-of-way management, $527.80 for spraying of Big Black Creek. $213,000 in the fund. Chronicle Tribune, $18.02 on the Doyle Ferguson, $31,930 in the fund. In-year construction, $18,000 on the Isaiah branch of Luger Ditch, $207,000 in the fund. And we're still holding back about $3,000 for him to finish leveling the spoil on that one. So that's not a final payoff on the $18,000. And we'll add on spraying the stumps.
All right, any questions on those claims?
Make a motion, we pray the claims as presented.
Motion, Mr. Goff,
Second.
Second, Mr. Pinkerton. Any, discussion or comments?
I was showing Jim a picture of, Sims Franklin on that, where that right-of-way management sprayed that down through there.
Mm-hmm.
I think they done a super job.
Was that the same ditch we got a couple of complaints?
One.
Okay,
One of them was on Sims Franklin.
all right. Just check it.
Yeah, I got pictures of it, you wanna see them?
I can drive by. I'll be happy to take a look at it. I think it got done what we need to get done, right? Yeah. All righty. Any other comments, questions on the payments? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. It's carried unanimously. All right. Old business, Little Crane Pond. That approval of resolution is with the area we want to vacate. Do you want to bring the Crane Pond up? We're doing that later under other business, aren't we?
Yeah, just a
Okay.
second here.
Hummel Creek, you do have a statement from our attorney. And all that legalese, did you get that translated?
I read it. I'm not for sure about the translation. I read it.
Basically what we can and can't be asking for. And I don't know that he actually answered Mr. Cates' question on.
No, that wasn't answered.
No, that wasn't answered,
I
so,
don't think that can be done.
okay. So, I guess we have to, put as much of the billing together as we possibly can.
I've already gotten it all to him months ago.
Okay, and it's to Joe?
Yep.
Okay, so all we need to do is say, please confirm our billing so we can get it out. Okay?
Are we going to make sure they sign this so we know they get the bill?
We'll at least make it certified.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's
Way I-
better,
Yeah, the way I understood it, you send him a notice for a public hearing to assessing the money, and then after that, we certify it to the auditor.
okay,
That's the way I understood it when I read it last,
all right. Well, we'll do it according to what the law says, so.
and what Joe said.
All right, solar ordinance, we're waiting to see what happens next Monday night. And we will move forward to Little Crane Pond on other business.
You know, we still have a request to, maintain this ditch. We got an estimate from Eric Bragg of 50,000, we've got 41 in our fund. Our original plan was to haul all that dirt out, but I talked to Wendell Cates, he thinks the last 500 feet is good farm sediment that is his, he'd like to have that. But he's not interested in trying to clean it out because he don't wanna go farther north. And then, there's a fence 13 foot from our top of ditch bank, 6 foot chain link fence that goes for a couple hundred feet. The first notice, I think there's a new owner there. When I sent the notice to remove the fence, I got no response. So with today's approval from the board, I'd like to send another notice to that landowner. We'll take some quotes and we'll plan on, leaving the spoil in our easement and working it down and seeding it. I don't think it's, you know, I poked around, I thought it was gravel and full of gravel and sand and rocks, but I really don't think it is from the last clean out. It's gonna be a shallow cut, about 1.5 foot cut. The ditch is narrow. So with the drainage board's approval, I'll go ahead and send out letters to take quotes and send out a letter to get that fence out of the way. You know, when it gets down into the ravine where you're tight for space, that's where the fence is. And then there's some dead trees, so we only want to take out enough dead trees to get the job done. And then Wendell thought that somewhere back in the corner of this property, in a woods, you could probably push the trees up and pile them, but I don't know why you'd never want to, in my opinion, we shouldn't burn them there. It's too close to all these houses. You could have ashes landing on houses 800 feet away. So we see how much woods we got, and we may have to add on some cost to truck that them trees out on the north end.
Do you have an actual address on that,
Elevate was down this morning, so I
still
couldn't,
down, yeah,
I couldn't pull up that information.
okay.
I got a copy of the code on planting stuff in the easement without, to send along with a letter to those people, but, as far as I got this morning. But other letter, no response. You know, and then we've sent everybody a notice that contractors will be on the property looking at it to give us quotes. Does that help answer some of your questions, Pat, what I just said, and what's been going on? Pat had a response from a landowner, but I don't think they're in the watershed.
No, she's not.
She's
but
just a friend of
her friends
somebody's.
are. So,
And you know, their whole reason for wanting it cleaned out is not flooding, is mosquitoes. But, you know, as soon as we get it cleaned out and Mother Nature makes the water go like that, there's gonna be high spots and low spots. You're not gonna get rid of the mosquitoes out of this ditch. And normally on farm ditches, we'd go like 200 feet down, make sediment hole. You know, that grows mosquitoes all over the county, but I don't wanna put one here, it's too close. But, you're always gonna have a little stand of water in this ditch, so we're still gonna get the complaints, even
Yeah.
though we're gonna spend about 40,000. But, you know, Wendell's got a concern, cause his main tile outlet hits down at Kim Road.
Mhm.
So that's why I didn't want to halfway do it. If we're gonna get in there, we need to go far enough that guarantees Wendell drainage.
So from the road, as we go back through some of that property and we get to that place where we're dipping, we just don't have a lot of fall. Is that right?
Well, we will have, if we go that far.
Okay.
This last landowner, he cleaned it up some on himself, and we got Redmond to do some work and paid some, so it's good down through here. So here's where we wanna stop, or start our project, start the
North,
dredging.
south.
Yeah, and work south, so it'll all get cut out.
Is there a building on this here,
Not that I know of,
just a fence?
just a fence.
And then we got a swimming pool that's,
Well, yeah, it's out of the easement, and Cindy pulled the plat, the rest of the subdivision's 40 feet, so that's where that fence needed to be. It's 13 feet from the top of bank, and it needed to be about 40 feet, so we can get through there.
Well, if it's the same people with the pool,
It's not,
oh, it's not.
no.
But is it the original folks that we dealt with? Is it their property?
No,
Okay.
no, that's, it's on down from Job's house, about 5 lots.
So they put that in at their own peril, not talking to us.
Right. Previous owner probably, and they didn't respond to my letter, so. I've highlighted all the things and, you know, they'll have a notice, so if it isn't down, our contractor can take it down, lay it aside, and it'll be their job to put it back. But with the drainage board's blessing, I wanna send a letter on the board's behalf that this fence is in the way and has to come down.
Well, probably that pool, when we let it go, cause it'll be a problem for somebody else.
I think.
And I'd like to level the
we do a
spoil,
motion.
instead of hauling the spoil off with trucks. Level that spoil and seed it and see how it does.
you'll get comments on that.
Yeah. You know, the rocks belong to the landowners, so we can pick the bigger ones up if we've got enough leftover maintenance fund, but we have an easement, you know.
I move that we allow the surveyor to send notice to the landowners on these problems.
Thank you.
Motion, Mr. Cox, is there support for that? Mr. Cates, second. Any other discussion before we vote? I think it's just prudent that we follow that course, make sure we cover all our bases, so. Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those abstaining, I don't know if anybody's on Little Crane ditch or not.
No.
All right, we are unanimous. All right, we ready to move to Highline Drain? And are you bringing that information to us, or?
I'll start it out.
Okay.
The Heinlein drain is, small portions in Blackford County. Blackford County Surveyor's here today. And they're requesting that, they could take care of this project. We do have a majority of the drain and majority of the watershed, and Raymond has a breakdown on that. I'd be okay with it, but, we just wanna hear everybody and see how the board would feel.
And we can have our Blackford County surveyor step up, just for our record, name, address, and, go right ahead,
Let me get the county address or my home address.
whatever you prefer.
Okay. Paul Shriver, and I live in Montpelier on 500 East, 6432 North. So, we started out looking at the portion in Blackford County, and it's just small, and I don't know if you guys got copies of maps or not. Where Les Bull owns and then Holtzleider, they have grounds that are low in comparison to Blackford County, and so we were looking at taking the water over the hill and going to the nearest ditch. So that required a 22-foot cut, and the money that it cost to do that, and the type of material, you'd have to get down 22 feet, we'd have to go with concrete. So that changes the cost. So we could, and I noticed that you guys have a ditch going across you that comes up and originally did drain that. So the problem on that tile ditch was that it goes into a county ditch that had a culvert that was misplaced and didn't drain real well. But when I was out there looking at it, the highway department's in there surveying to replace that culvert and set it right. So that changes the benefit of the dollar to go and drain 181 acres in Grant County, to drain our 50 acres in Blackford County, where it's not a lot of difference in out-of-pocket cost to begin with. So looking at a project that's $640 in round numbers per acre, that we could put on a $32 a year payoff until it's paid off. It's 20 years. Our board is in favor of that. In lieu of a joint board, we have numbers. We have farmers, the major landowners own land in both counties and farmland in both counties. Obviously, there are houses and things where they don't. So it benefits Blackford County well enough that our drainage board's interested in going ahead and financing the project. But the money would have to be collected through Grant County auditor. So it needs to go through your board to accomplish that if we're going to finance it.
Right.
So, so our board is on board with that. We have a bid, have a contractor. That's proven to be difficult to do this year. Nobody's wanting to offer a bid on anything because they're afraid the price will be twice as much next month. So we've got basically a 30-day bid that we can honor or drop. That I look at all these projects as, if we get one done, great. If we don't, next. It's just, it's a simple fact.
If we waive our rights, you'd have the hearing and we would, we send you notices, or we send out our notices when you tell us.
Correct. We would have the hearing the first Tuesday of next month. If I can get my phone to cooperate, I can give you a day on that. Get into the right, yes, the 6th. We'd have our hearing on the 6th. So notices that go out this afternoon. They're all ready to go.
Okay.
So it is a day late, but don't think anybody's going to complain too much about that.
And, even though we have the majority of it, the length and the acreage, he's ready to go. If we waive our rights, he can finance it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a waiving your rights or just it's waiving your rights to conduct the hearing, basically, let us conduct.
And letting you handle.
Yeah, we do this with Wells County pretty commonly.
Yeah.
We've never run into a ditch where we were gonna do this with Grant County. And you might as well spit in the wind if you're gonna deal with Delaware County. But Jay County, we at least talk.
Well, now they're gonna pay this
So,
back at $30, $23 or something,
30, yeah,
for 20
32.
years.
yeah,
What's your feeling? How many acres is in Grant County?
there's 181 in Grant County,
Raymond has a breakdown.
50 acres in Blackford.
And it's ancient tile. I've looked at it. It's shot.
There's actually holes you can go out and look.
Top six.
When I went out and measured
How
it,
many
walked, there was
acres
no
in
problem
Grant,
following the
how many in
tile.
Blackford?
Suckle.
Or, sorry, 50 and 181. These are the percentages.
And you know, the code down at the last, the code had something in there about, even though we got the majority, that we can still kind of do it this way. I understood it.
In effect, we're having a joint board meeting without face-to-face.
Right.
Well,
We've got 20, Grant County's got 78% of the acreage and 84% of the distance. Here's your distances down here. There's 3,312 feet in Grant County and 600 in Blackford County.
And the majority of this is gonna be down 11 feet. In order to get the grade, we're gonna be down 11 feet. But it'll follow the path of the original.
But since he has the funds and he's got it organized,
well, I don't have any objection if he's ready to go. That's-
What's the current, per acre?
there's none. It's never been on maintenance.
It's an old tile.
So this is one of our one of our drains, but it has no assessment.
Right. His public hearing is gonna establish a $32 an acre assessment.
We'll have a hearing, the hearing may not go through, you know, they may have voted against it, but we gotta have this step, in order to have that step.
You have support of a couple of landowners in there,
Right.
or the bigger landowners, I would say.
Acres affected, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
And Doc Brickley owns a pretty sizable section in there, and he's agreed to go ahead and do it. You guys agree?
For me, if they got, they was ready to go.
Randy does, okay.
I'd say let them go, you know, and we do. If they voted down, then that's another thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Do we have any more questions for Paul right now? Okay, we'll open it up. Randy, if you want to make some comment on this.
I'm Randy Atkins, 8560 South Wheeling Pike. I want to commend Paul, Raymond, and Jim on the collaborative effort that they've made to get this together. They've worked very well. They've been in contact with Les and I through the whole situation. I want to share that this is an old tile that served this same purpose, so it's not like this hasn't been, you know, in the works at some point. So I'm losing 8 to 10 acres based on this old tile. I'm the guy that's got the big holes in my property, so, you know, I would ask that you guys support this. I mean, how can Grant County go wrong if Blackford's going to carry it? Thank you.
You're not worried about the sticker shock from 0 to 32 for
No,
landowners?
I mean, Mark, when you're losing that many acres on an annual basis, that 32 looks pretty cheap if I can actually get a crop out of there, because I've lost a crop since I've owned the property, you know, way back in the early 2000s. So, you know, I can show you pictures of where the cottonwood trees and the cattails are growing, and that's not corn and soybeans. So, yeah, appreciate your support.
Not everybody along this ditch, you think will go along with it?
Oh, yes, yeah, we've been in contact with Brickley, Halderman, John Laws in Bluffton. Yeah, we've been, I mean, Townsend will benefit from some of it. I mean, yeah, I don't think there'll be any opposite. Now, does that mean that the but the residents may have a problem with it. Yeah, they could, but I don't think that they're not necessarily losing, you know, what Les and I and Steve Holzleiter are losing on a regular basis, so.
And the homeowners in the situation would be getting an outlet for their perimeter drains, which at the moment it doesn't have a good tile for them to outlet into.
Yeah, I've got a pond that has the overflow draining out on top of the ground, you know, coming right down on me, and we definitely want to get that working the way that it's supposed to. That's not the way it should have been. So your support would be appreciated.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion, we go home.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion with support as proper. That gives us the opportunity to discuss and ask another question or two. If I can direct to Paul again, what are you looking at for home site and minimums?
To waive it.
Okay, so we're looking at a minimum of 32. Keep the number the same,
Okay.
and then based on acreage. Not, we
No home site.
We haven't been into that kind of thing.
Okay.
We don't, but we don't want to go counter to what you would do, so.
So minimum 32 and 32 an acre.
Yeah.
Okay.
And really, there's only a couple of houses that are that small. I think 4.6 is one and 12 is another.
Okay.
It's not.
Answers my questions. Any other questions or concerns?
Only other comment I have for you is just to recognize the fact that the value of land, your tiles, your drains are not supposed to exceed the surrounding property. We have more than this much value of land that's not being farmed because of the water. So that's.
All right, so the current motion, let's make sure that it's clear for our recording secretary. We're waiving our rights and approving that Blackford County will move forward with public hearing on Heinlein Drain
And funding.
and funding. The financing, yeah. That meets all our requirement, right? Okay, any other discussion? It's like these guys are satisfied. All in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye, carried unanimously. You can send that paperwork out.
Have it done in about 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. Other business, gentlemen.
No,
We do have a public hearing next meeting, is that correct?
Yep.
All right. And which drain is that?
let me look that real quick.
Is it the Doyle?
I think he's right. Looking,
That's the lower of it.
yeah.
All right, and just a reminder that we're gonna push, well, Mr. Leone is on vacation. He said he was gonna be out a little bit, but we were gonna push his button so that we can get a report and start the process on the,
It's not the Doyle, I'm sorry to interrupt.
is it
It's
not?
the Aaron Newby.
Aaron Newby, okay,
The Doyle is on the 30th.
okay. Very good. Other business?
Yeah.
All right.
Move adjourned.
Motion, Mr. Cox, second, Mr. Pinkerton. All those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is carried. Thank you. All right.
This solar form says that we're gonna be responsible.
Did you learn a lot, Steve?
I always learn the solar units if it passes.
How's the new?
No, but we already said no. 75 feet from banks. They're not gonna be able to use our easement at all.
And the solar units, they're gonna do it here.
I think so.
They're gonna have to stay out of the way.
But it's
Well, I mowed some, I've been mowing waterways
Around.
filter strips.
That's what.
They did the same thing in that
And that, again, if we move this, you can trash development of 3 acres. We'll put all those defining factors in.
And they're even good. And in the shoulder strip where there'd be big patch of pencils, it's spread in.
Yes.
Very much so.
They're in the right of way, but they weren't actually.
The problem,
That's good.
the initial problem we've got is
Yeah, I think all
they've
that.
already made an agreement with the land.